Lesson -6 The King's Choice. Once there was a big, handsome, fierce and strong lion. He was the king of the forest. All the animals used to present gifts to him. But the lion's demands continued to grow. One day he thought that a king must have some courtiers. He called a fox, a leopard and crow and said he wanted them to be his friends. The fox is known to be wise and clever, so you will be my advisor. The fox bowed his head low. Then he turned to the leopard. The leopard is known to be alert and swift-footed. You will be my bodyguard. Thank you, your majesty, said the leopard. And lastly he called the crow. You're a bird and can fly high. I want you to be my messenger. Thus he appointed them as his courtiers. All the three took oaths of loyalty to the king. The lion promised them food and protection. They never opposed the king as his wishes were law. Whenever he roared, they stood in awe. They followed him wherever he went. When the king went hunting, they found the animals for him to kill. After his fill, he left the remains for them. They always had enough to eat. One day the crow said to the king, Your Majesty, have you ever tasted the camel's meat? It's quite tasty and sweet. I ate some in the desert once. The lion had never seen a camel but longed to taste the camel's meat. But where can we get a camel? He asked. Once flying over a desert which is some miles away, I saw a lone camel there. It looked big and fat. The lion looked at his other advisors. They welcomed the idea and decided that the crow would show them the way. The next morning the lion and his advisors set off for the desert. They soon reached the desert. Once they left the forest, blazing sun beat down on them. It was unbearably hot. High up in the cool air flew the crow. Hurry along, the crow called out, the camel is not far off. But the lion could not go further, the hot sand had burnt his paws. Stop, he commanded to the others. Let's go back to the forest. I don't care for camel's meat. His advisors were frightened. They did not know how to get the lion back home. The forest was far behind them. The leopard wanted to run away. The crow wanted to wait and watch. But the clever fox thought of a plan. Off he ran to the desert, saying, I'll bring some help. He ran to the camel. The camel was very surprised to see a fox in the desert. Hurry up, friend, said the fox. Our king wants you at once. Our king? Who is that? I don't know any king. I know only my master, for whom I carry loads across the desert. Our king is a lion. He has killed your master. So now you're free. The lion invites you to live at his court. Come along. Without thinking, the camel followed the fox, and when both reached the lion's camp, the crow and the leopard were surprised. Even the lion was pleased in spite of his burnt paws. Get on the camel's back, your majesty, said the fox. We'll return home. The lion at once jumped onto the camel's back, and the fox and the leopard sat behind the lion. When they returned to the forest, they were tired and hungry. The three advisors looked at the camel intently. Then they looked at each other and smiled mysteriously. They thought it was time for dinner now. The lion knew what was going on in his courtiers' minds. He turned to the camel and said, I had to thank you for saving my life. You're welcome to live with us as long as you like. I promise you my protection. The courtiers were shocked. They felt disappointed to know that the king wanted the camel to live, which they brought here for dinner. However, they could not complain as he was the king. Now, the lion could not hunt as his paws were badly burnt. He was very hungry indeed. Fox, leopard, crow, he roared, don't you see I'm ill and hungry? Go and get me some food. The courtiers had to obey the king. They went out and sat down to discuss what to do. I have a plan, said the fox after a while. We shall make the camel request the lion to eat her. He told the plan and they all agreed that it was a good idea. So they came back to the king. First the crow stepped forward, bowing low, Your Majesty, we've found no food. But we cannot let you suffer. I am a little creature. Please eat me, said the crow. The fox pushed the crow aside. I've more flesh on me. Please eat me. The leopard rushed in. I am even bigger, sir. Seeing their proposal of the offerings, the camel too wanted to show his loyalty to the king. "Your Majesty," he said, "I am willing to sacrifice my life to save yours. These friends are more useful than I am. Eat me, please." These words brought smiles afresh on the faces of the advisors. But the lion stopped them. "You are all good and loyal. I am really touched by your offers. I shall eat you one by one as you offered yourself in order." Not for a moment did they wait, and the three ran away from there. The lion had a hearty laugh. He said to the camel, "You've been loyal and good. You shall be my friend as long as I live." This made the camel very happy.